19-year-old Renisha McBride was the woman who got shot in the face after she got into a car accident, and then hours later she turned up at the front doorstep of Theodore Paul Wafer. He said that he saw her as a threat, so he decided to shoot her in the face, killing her. Now, there was a preliminary hearing to decide whether or not to pursue charges against him. He's been charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and a felony gun charge. Well, it turns out that through those preliminary hearings, they decided that they will go on with a trial. He will have to stand trial. But there was really important testimony that occurred during the hearings that I think we should probably bring up right now. So when the story originally broke, of course, there were a lot of details missing. One detail was, all right, well, what happened between the car accident that she got into and the moment that she was at the doorstep? There was a 4-hour gap there, and we still don't know exactly what happened there. However, as soon as she got into a car accident, a woman by the name of Carmen Beasley called 911 immediately, came outside, and started talking to Renisha McBride. And she said that Renisha McBride was in shock, that her hands were bloody, and that she didn't know where she was going or what she was doing, and that she had lost her phone. She had no way of communicating or contacting anyone she knew because she couldn't even recall a single number.
So now, look, to be fair to the defense that will eventually come, of course, when they have the trial, she was also intoxicated, and the witness says likewise, and we know that her blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. So that's going to be relevant in the case because
she fled, presumably, maybe because she was just disoriented, but also maybe because she didn't want to be caught drunk at the scene.
So we don't know, but yes, both are definitely possible, right? So the defense, I'm guessing, is going to say, hey, listen, this woman shows up at my door, she's drunk, and she's, you know, making a racket and like it scared the hell out of me, and she's acting in crazy ways. And she, by the way, we don't know how she was acting, right? But they will say that, likely, right? And if she was disoriented, it might even be true, right? And if she was drunk, it might even be true. Now remember, she gets shot 4 hours later, so I don't know how much the alcohol wore off in those 4 hours. You know, if you're drunk, sometimes you just go pass out on somebody's porch.
Lawyers from
right?
both sides are going to be very eager to find out where she went in those 4 hours, if anyone else saw her, if anyone else came into contact with her, if she went to a bar.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think prosecutors are saying, yeah, that's all good and fine, but you shot her from 3 feet away, across, you know.
Through your screen door.
Yeah, through your screen door.
With a shotgun.
When she didn't have any weapons. So like,
yeah,
that's kind of tough to explain under any circumstance. Yeah. And by the way, when she was most drunk, 4 hours earlier, here's a woman, Beasley, that comes out and doesn't shoot her in the face.
No.
Tries to actually help her.
So here is the actual testimony that Beasley gave to the court. She said, I asked her if she was okay, and she said yes. She got in the car and she tried to, you know, start the ignition up. And I explained to her, I said, honey, your car is damaged. You're not going to be able to start the car. She just kept saying she wanted to go home. I was just concerned about her well-being. So what happened after that was she told her, hey, you know what? Why don't you sit tight in the car? I'm going to go call 911. You need an ambulance. And when Carmen Beasley went inside to call 911, that was when Renisha McBride fled, like she left. So between that moment and her getting shot, we have no idea where she was. We have no idea what happened.
The night could have gone so many different directions. But you know, Carmen Beasley sounds like she's great. Came out at 1:30 in the morning, car accident, helped somebody. You know.
See. So let's say, it's 1 in the morning. You hear some ruckus on your front porch. You go out there, you see, oh, it's a young girl. Let me get my shotgun and shoot her in the fucking face.
That's right.
That's what that guy did. And then he did it. But no, now the guy who's charged, what is his ethnicity? Do we know?
He's white.
Oh, so he's white. Mm-hmm. And so when she showed up, the most important thing was probably that she was black, right?
Now, look, of course, they're going to say you don't know that. He was scared. She made a lot of noise. And who knows what they're going to claim about what he knew or didn't know about her race.
Jumping to conclusions about
That's what the defense would say.
Who shot a girl in the face with a shotgun from 2 feet away.
Yeah, look,
3 feet away.
I know a lot of people in the audience won't believe what you're saying either. Let's say, oh, you're making assumptions and stuff. And look, of course there's some assumptions there, but to those guys I would ask, are you positive that he would have had the same reaction if it was a 19-year-old blonde girl? Like, do you really think that? I can't imagine. I mean, forget, like, Anna shows up at somebody's door and she's making a racket and it's really late at night. I don't think she's going to get shot in the face.
I mean,
I
look,
just don't.
Again, it is an assumption, and you just don't know. I think one of the key factors that's working in Theodore's favor is the fact that she knocked on the door at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very scary time for someone to knock on a door. So I would be frightened by it. I don't know if I would grab a shotgun and shoot the person through the screen door. But of course, look, there's evidence to this case. He will stand trial, and that's all we can really ask for at this point. That he will have a fair trial.
And I would be surprised if he got convicted, to be honest with you. Yeah. And that's because, look, and to me, the racial angle is interesting, and I hear what you're saying, Jimmy, and obviously I partly agree, but I'm somewhere between you and some others. But I think the main thing is guns. Like, if that guy doesn't have a gun, he can't shoot her in the face with it. He would just go, hey, what are you doing?
Maybe he would call the cops.
Yeah, or call the cops.
Why wouldn't you call the cop?
Look, he'll testify, I presume, because it's a pretty safe defendant to testify because there's nothing that can be corroborated. No one else has any other story to tell. So he'll be the, hard to crossing. He doesn't have to worry that much about cross-examination. But what Jimmy says is undoubtedly right. Like, we know that if you're banging on a door at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're black, of course you're 6,000 times more likely. But that's really not relevant in this one case, right? Those odds. I mean, it's relevant in a bigger picture, and of course.